Good morning, everyone. Oh boy. As you all heard, my sister passed over the weekend. And hey, Alex. Can you hear me, Alex?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. So as you all know, Golfr Cath passed over the weekend. And, I wasn't going to do a live stream, but then I thought about it. And Kathy was one of my biggest supporters. She was one of the main people that for years told me to do a podcast. And I always said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And to the point where even prior to starting the podcast, I raised some money and I launched a technology where I could bring other podcasters on a platform that everybody could share in, and spent a year and a bunch of money trying to get that off the ground, and it didn't work. And Kathy, one of them said, she was one of the ones that said, just do your own thing. And so in January of 2023, I started, and a lot of it had to do with the encouragement of my sister.
Well, we're damn glad she did.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, Dave. Hey, James. James, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you, Sam.
Sorry for your loss.
Thanks, Dave. I this is the first show without my sister being around, and I just, no matter how ugly it is, man, I thought it was important for her memory to do it today. She was so encouraging and so loving. Don't get me wrong, we had our sibling stuff too, but my God, she was...
Well, yeah, and she would want you to be doing it.
Exactly.
No doubt about it.
That's what I kept thinking too. A whole bunch of us, my other sister and my niece and nephew and family members got together yesterday for a little meal and just to hang out. And I never realized how much or how proud of me my sister was. And, it shocked me because, I'm usually the one who's, crazy Sam and, the tinfoil hat wearer. And I was so touched when I found out how proud of Kathy was of me. And I didn't expect that, I certainly didn't expect that. You guys, let me grab a tissue. I should have had a tissue. Hold on one second.
Dave?
Yeah.
What's up with the bright fluorescent color?
That way, if I get lost out here, I can find me.
Okay.
So the combine doesn't run him over.
Well,
Right.
Is we in trouble out there, Dave?
No.
Oh.
We were commenting on his neon yellow hoodie.
Oh yeah. Nobody's gonna miss that, right?
I've got down corn this morning. I wore this in case I needed to send help.
Yeah,
Make it
exactly.
find me easier.
James.
Yes, sir.
I know you're busy, man. It really means a lot to me that you're here today. I'm really appreciative.
Sam, I wouldn't have missed it. I know you need us, brother. We're always here for you. Always. Everybody in the chat, this panel, this group, Lisa Maria, we're all here for you, brother.
I know that. I know it. It's amazing. some people that I've had friendships with and what have you have been reaching out, over the weekend, and I didn't respond to a lot because, it's funny. I don't even know if I've got everything set up properly. You kind of go through the motions and you start thinking about, I start thinking about my sister, and I kind of get off, the rails, and I can't express how much it means to have you guys in my life, and so many people loving, and I mean, my God, it's just, it's overwhelming, Let me let me say some good mornings to people. Jason Coons, Cindy Hayden 59, PJ Party Peggy, Teresa Gen X Holtz, Vicky Veronic, Rick Senior, Joy Gen X Holtz, Lisa Maria. Good morning, Lisa. Hits, Hitesh, Just the Mess from Tex, Nut, David, Gary Murphy, Special K, John Gwynn. Thank you, John. Thank you for the message this weekend, John. Scott Torregrosa, Marianne Thompson, Sue, Sherry, Benji, 1959. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for being here. Tanya Moonsheimer, Dana Mackey, Brian. My gosh, everybody. April Burgess, Virgo 47, Pure Blood Holly Johns, Tracy Fagan, Knit Mom, Grandpa, Charlie. My gosh, so many people here. So grateful. Wendy J, Jess Perry 16, Kevin Kiesler, Free to Be Me, Traveler. Hey, Traveler. Sassy Minnesota girl. I'm so glad you're here, Sassy. Ruby, Martin's WB. Good morning, Martin. S&W Farms. Magic. David Morales said over on YouTube, said they passed, yet they're only a thought away. Boy, isn't that the truth? Creative Hairworks on Facebook. Christy, thanks, Christy, for being here. Russell Webster. Thanks, Russell. Good morning. So, you guys, I was trying to get, the dispatch done, and I just couldn't get through it. I have some talking points as we go forward. But, Alex, do you want to do some indices? Are you up for that today?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I got a couple people to put through the ringer. Mr. Gwynn, gold is sitting at $4,362. That's up $150. So I mean,
Thank you,
I'm $640 away from my second steak dinner because my buddy, since he decided to join us today, XRP, we'll get to that in just a second. Good morning, everybody. It's October 20th, 2025. Happy Monday. Welcome in. Appreciate everybody showing up. Sam, you're doing fine. We got your back. S&P 500 is up 65 points to 6,729. The Dow is up 384 points to 46,575. NASDAQ is up 317 to $22,997. Looking at the commodities market, you see oil has dropped 50 cents a barrel. We're down to $56.66. Gold, I mentioned, up $149 to $4,362. Silver up $1.27 to $51.37 per ounce. Looking at the crypto market, everything's up and up. I think some of the comments were the markets are responding to I think some negotiations with China. Bitcoin is up 2% to $111,046. Ethereum is up pretty much basically even, 3,978. XRP is up 2% to $2.46. That steak's gonna taste good. Cardano is pretty much even at 66 cents. Stellar Lumens up 0.5% at 33 cents, and HBAR Hedera up 1.96 at 18 cents. Looking at the drops today, there is a link out to a video if anyone's interested in going and watching. It's Denzel Washington on a submarine Pretty interesting stuff there. The other one is anonymous post. It says, very well, search for anything before October 20th, 2017. If you want to split hairs, the data shows that the keyword didn't start trending until November. And the keyword that they did a search on Google search for was QANON altogether. Distraction. They are here in force. Thank you very much. So we all know that there is anonymous, anons, people who do things, gray hats, white hats, black hats, and then there is the 17th letter. Two separate. They combined them to scoop us all up in one narrative, and QAnon is not a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome, buddy.
So I just got a message, a text from Adam, Dark Horse, sending his condolences. Thank you, Adam. I don't know if you're on the show today, but thank you for the kind words, my brother. Okay. Dave, do you have something for us today? Yep. Okay.
Morning, everybody. Hope your Monday morning's going good. Corn is down 1 to 2. Soybeans are up 7 to 9, and its wheat is even across the board. Cattle up just a little bit, and hogs are up just a little bit today on a Monday. So just starting the week out right. So
excellent. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Now, James, I'm sure you don't have a military report, but I want to bring you up because you haven't been with us for a while. We all understand. First of all, you have been greatly missed. The number of messages we get, where's James? And, we miss the interstateisms, and, we explain to everybody that you're busy, but that you'll be back at some point. So I'm sure you don't have a military report, but I wanted to get your opinion on all of this movement in Venezuela, all of the military that's taking place, kind of what your thoughts are at this point.
Sam, that it seems to be thanks, first of all, and again, sorry for your loss. Anything that I can do to be there for you, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know that.
I do.
As far as what I've been seeing, I've seen a whole lot of cornfields, a couple fox, coyote. That's Alex for you. And I missed all the trash talking to you guys, all the static you give me, and especially Alex, hammering on me about that steak.
Well, now you have a partner in crime with John Gwynn. He made a bet with
hear
Alex.
That.
Yeah.
I don't feel so alone anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, I missed you guys, and it's every day I think about it. I try to watch from the, if I can, join the chat and maybe kick somebody out that's talking trash, above and beyond Alex and Dave. So, but it is kind of nice to actually sit down and have a day. It was kind of unplanned. I saw your dispatch this morning, and I had talked to Dave and I had talked to Alex, and it was imperative that I be here today for sure to be with you.
Thank you, James. Thank you, brother. There's so many messages in the chat. There's just no way I can get to them all, but thank you all for the prayers. And, this today is for my sister, and, she was wide awake. She understood what was going on. We would talk about it on a regular basis, and she was very emotional about it. She would, that goddamn Biden, and, she'd go off on Biden, or she'd go off on Gavin Newsom. And, I tried to calm her down a little bit and say, look, Cath, I think the Patriots are in full control. And, and after a while she would calm down and she would agree to some degree. But then the next day, man, somebody, that damn Jamie Crockett, she'd just go off on her. And that's the kind of spirit I think that patriotic Americans have. We want the best for our country. We want the best for our families. We want the best for our kids and grandkids. And I think my sister encompassed that in her life. She struggled with her physical well-being. I don't know if many of you know this, but my sister had a double transplant of pancreas and kidneys 30 years ago. And she did really well for about 15 years. And then her kidney failed. And then my other sister, Dee Dee, donated one of her kidneys to Kathy. and gave Kathy another 15 years. That's the kind of love that I'm talking about. You know, my sisters are the epitome of love in so many ways. And when Kath, she's been in the hospital for about the last week, and my other sister went and visited her on Wednesday, and then my niece went on Thursday, my niece Sarah, and they both told her that I would be coming on Saturday morning to see her because I didn't think she was, ready to go. I thought that we knew that her kidney was failing, and we knew that she'd have to go on dialysis again. And I knew that she didn't want to do that, but I didn't know to what degree. And so I got to the hospital on Saturday morning, and literally, you guys, 5 minutes after I got there, she went into cardiac event. And the nurses, there must have been 10 or 12 people in the intensive care room with her. And the doctor came to me and said, Sam, do you want us to shock her? And I said, I called my other sister. It happened so fast. And I said, yes, please, let's see if we can save her. And so they did, and they did it 3 times with no result. And then he looked at me across the room, and then I said, no more. And then he said, well, let's try one more. And we did. We tried one more time, and it worked for about 30 seconds. And then she went back. She didn't have it was where her heart was racing. It was like 180, 190. It wasn't the kind where the heart stopped. And so he said at that point, do you want to intubate her? And, we had talked with her about it, and she certainly did not want that. And I asked the doctor, what will it do? And he basically said, you could buy a couple of hours, maybe a day or 2, if possible, to have family members come. And I said, well, is there any chance of her, pulling out of this? And he said, no. He said it would, unless there was a miracle that took place. So at that point, I asked him to make her comfortable. And they told me what the process was. And they gave her some anti-anxiety medication. And that calmed her down. And she was staring at me as I was at her bedside, just staring at me. And I wasn't sure if she could hear me. So I was holding her hand, and I said, well, Kath, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. And she didn't squeeze it, but her shoulder twitched. And I thought, well, I wonder if she's trying to communicate. So I looked at her and I said, Kath, if you can hear me, blink your eyes once. And she blinked her eyes pronouncedly. So I knew that she was communicating with me. And so at that point, she still had the big mask on and all. And they gave her a dose of pain medication. And I said, Kath, the next dose is coming soon. If you want that dose, I want you to blink once. And if you don't, blink twice. And she blinked. And it wasn't a flutter. She closed and opened her eyes to make sure I knew what she was saying. And that's when, she was gone, maybe 20 minutes after that. So I believe that I did the right thing. And I believe that she was scared at first, but I think having me there was comforting for her. She made the transition. And I'm so grateful that I was able to get there before. And I think, as I think back on it, I think she was waiting for me. I really do. It may sound crazy. It might sound mystical, but
not crazy at all.
Within a 5-minute period, it happened. And as she
needed her big brother there, Sam.
Well, she was older than me, James, but
I know, but you're still her big brother that day.
Yeah. And as she drifted off, I saw her eyes staring out the window into the sky that was beautiful that day. And as you could tell by her screen name, Golfr Cath, that was her love. She loved golf. And she was incredibly talented on it. I actually started her golfing about 40 years ago, and then she just took off. She actually tried out for the women's LPGA, or I don't know what the term was, but she was that good. I mean, she would play with guys skins games, and take their money. And they would give her shit, and they'd say stuff like, Kathy, you can use the red tees, and she'd laugh at them. She didn't use the women's tees; she used the men's tees, and she was an incredible golfer. And I think when she discovered that she'd have to go back on dialysis, I just think she didn't want to do it. And as I talked to the nursing staff throughout the last few days, she was refusing medications, which wasn't like her, So I think that she had made a choice, and I was there to support that choice, But it's funny how after the event, you start questioning yourself, should I have done this? Should I have done that? And I have to think at this point that I did the right thing.
It sounds to me, Sam, by your recanting of the events, that you absolutely followed her wishes. It was the right thing to do. I went through it with my dad. I held his hand as he took his last breath. We had to make the decision to take him off of the ventilator, knowing what was going to happen. And brother, how many people don't get the chance to be there and say goodbye, and they just, a random phone call, and so, heart goes out to you, and we've all said it, whatever you need, but don't question that. She gave you the answers, and she was strong as hell. How long did she live with transplants?
30 years.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's the amazing side of modern medicine, right?
Yeah.
So, to keep that fight, and we all know the last 6 months or so have been really tough on her and you. So, it's not something you need to question, brother.
Yeah, and as they said, she was staring off at the end into the sky because she had a beautiful room with a beautiful view, and I just kept thinking, I bet she's thinking about golf, looking at that beautiful blue sky, and just I wonder what the golf courses are like in heaven,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And how blessed was she to have you by her side? Again, how many people pass and don't have anybody sitting next to that bed, brother? You're a good dude. You're a good brother.
Thank you. Yeah, when they took my brother from us, we weren't even allowed in the hospital. They killed him with remdesivir, and that was just it's still unbelievable to me. And that was 4 years ago, and then 3 years ago, my mom passed, but Mom was 94 years old. She had a good life. She was happy, And then Kathy, I have to be grateful for the time that the extra time I did have with her. And it's, even though I'm sad to see her go, I'm so grateful that I got to spend this time with her, So
what they did to your brother and many people back in the day. That's another reason why we're here.
Exactly, Dave. That's really what put me over the edge in starting this podcast, was what they did to my brother, to shed light on these nefarious, sick, bad people and get them held to justice. And it's coming in a way that is going to be a bulldozer through a glass house. So, all right, well, let's talk a little bit about current events. I don't know. It sure seems to me, you guys, and since we have all of us here today, if we look at what's going on with ICE, as we look at what's going on with Venezuela, I mean, there's a big buildup of troops outside of Venezuela. And as I think you all know, the election machines and the election software that was used to manipulate the United States voting machines originated in Venezuela. Smartmatic was a Venezuelan company, and that's what they used to overthrow the dictatorship there, and then they turned it on the American people. I don't think it's by chance that this is happening in Venezuela today, especially with all that's going on here in America. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Follow the money. I mean, that's we say all the time on the show. Follow the money, and if you follow the narco trade and understand the billions and billions and billions of dollars over the years that have been generated from the sale of narcotics, you start to understand why the people that are fighting so desperately to keep that going are fighting to keep it going. Was on a different live with a group of people, and there was a gentleman who lives in Maine. That's as far away from the South as you can possibly get, and he was going off about how he knows for a fact that cartels have infiltrated the judicial system, the police system, and all the things. And I think that's the bigger story of everything that we're seeing happening. Is it's the systematic dismantling of every single avenue that the deep state has been generating money for a very, very long time.
Yes. James?
You know, corruption knows no depth. It's something that has been continuing. I mean, they're going to master it one way or another. I mean, if they can master what AI can do for itself and undo for itself, Alex knows. I mean, AI is something that with what's coming up and what it can do, the power that the nefarious people are already putting in place, it's scary. But what's going on in Venezuela? Hey man, if you ain't got a doobie and you don't have a way to get it over to the United States, you know, people are getting upset about it. As far as their voting and how voting machines can be corrupted, I think the best person that could tell us about that would be Mike Lindell.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, another thing to be concerned about, or wondering why we're going into Venezuela. Alex, can you look up and see who purchases most of Venezuela's oils?
Yes, give me just a sec.
Yeah, and as you're doing that too, you guys, we talked about a lot about China and Trump and Kim Jong-un and what have you. And now Moscow is proposing an Elon Musk built 70-mile Putin-Trump rail tunnel linking Russia and America. Is that not more evidence that they're working in coordination to eliminate the deep state, Dave?
Yeah, they talked about that, and I think Trump said we're going to have to talk about that. But yeah, between the U.S. and well, it's Alaska and Russia, I believe, right?
Yes.
He followed that up with, I think the governor of Hawaii wants to build a tunnel from Hawaii to the United States.
Jeez. James?
It looks like China buys 40 to 50%, the United States 30%, India 8%, Spain 3 to 4%, Cuba 4%, others, Turkey, Brazil, Colombia, between 5 and 10%.
Who was number one?
Keep that in mind. China.
Okay.
Keep that in mind of why we're going in, and ever since that government fell, between the drugs and who's getting their oil is might be another shed on the light of why we're going into Venezuela.
Right. So. James?
Well, I know the farming industry is definitely taking a beating with our trade with China, and it would be kind of nice if they could strike up a deal. I think every day farmers sink. Everybody's stressed to the max. When you put $3 million into an operation and only yields 2.2, what do you do with the other 800,000?
Right.
As far as Russia and them building a tunnel over the United States, I call that horse hockey.
Good. And interstatism. We needed one of those, James.
13-letter shit spreader.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave came up with a wild idea that he said the other day that I should start an interstatism merch line.
There we go. I think that's a great idea.
Alex, I want to know, what does a 13-letter shit spreader look like?
I don't know. That's your ism, not mine.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
So just to put some perspective on things as well, the illicit nature of what comes out of Venezuela. Actions since 2019 have disrupted flows, but 2025 through 2024 through 2025 saw expanded Colombian production. So in 2023, 2,664 tons of booger sugar came out of Colombia via Venezuela. Transit volume, DEA estimates 24% of the global booger sugar, somewhere around 639 tons, passes through Venezuela, up from 200 to 250 tons pre-2020.
Wow.
I mean, tons. Let me put some math to what is 1 ton worth.
Well, and while you're doing that, Alex, too, we've got this going on in Venezuela. We've got the stuff going on in Russia. And then Prince Andrew surrendered all of his royal titles over the weekend. Prince Andrew, we all know who his buddy was, Epstein. And now he surrendered his titles. It look like it kind of looks to me like maybe we're reaching that precipice we've been waiting for. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, well, it sounds like everything's coming to light, right? I mean, finally bringing them, and so that was by his choice, correct? To surrender that?
Well, I don't know if it was by his choice or the king telling him to do it. I don't know, from a protocol standpoint, I don't know what way that works. But either way, the fact that he surrendered his titles voluntarily or involuntarily, that's a big deal to me. James?
25 to $35 million per ton. So if you took that times 639 tons, that's $17.89 billion for 1 year.
Wow. And they've been doing that for how many years?
Well, exactly. And you take that with what Doge is doing to circumvent the hands in the cookie jar. Their piggy bank's drying up real quick, folks.
Real quick. James?
Well, I see that Iowa Princess said something about that William asked his dad to make him surrender his titles. The guy is definitely, it's a shameful thing that he was involved in. And a lot of people know that. Harry used to fly Apache helicopters. He should have just gunned him down when he had the chance.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, like I said, over that dinner last night, I was bringing up some of the things that I've talked about for many, many years. And one of them was about what's going on with the royals in England. And now here it is right in front of us being proven to be true. Now, Anon55 over on X said that now the sealed indictments that we've been tracking is over 610,000 sealed indictments. 525,000 are still to be unsealed. So what does that mean? We've got 76 or 85,000 indictments that have been unsealed recently. Is this part of this global picture of Andrew surrendering his titles? Is this part of the global picture of the optical rollout of President Trump working with Putin at a much more intimate level than people realized? What do you think, James?
Sam, this entire time, over the past year, you've always had that belief, and I'm right along with you. I believe a lot of this stuff has happened, and they have to give it to us somehow. I wish it wouldn't always take as long as it does. We don't know when it actually happened or when it happened, but it'd be nice to actually get some real dirt. Some days I struggle digging up a dispatch for military, because some of the things that I read today I read 3 months ago, and it's like they're just regurgitating it. So, and to be honest with you, I had a hard time getting my screensaver on because I forgot how to do it.
Well, you've been gone for a little while, but so glad you're back. Well, and talking about President Trump made it crystal clear in his first term that they will not telegraph their punches. So much of what's going on, I'm sure, is under lock and key under an administration that has the ability to keep secrets in terms of the military rollout. So it doesn't surprise me. And now Marco Rubio came out just a few days ago with something that I thought was very interesting. He said there is something operating over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours. Are they starting to roll out alien stuff again, Alex?
Everybody get your corn cobs ready. Look, um, another reason I'm glad that you're on today, Sam. People need to get their information from places that provide receipts. Those of you that are watching television, tell-a-vision, right? What do you watch on a tell-a-vision? You watch a program. They are programming and programming and programming. You look at the No Kings protest, and MSNBC put out this video of what they said, hundreds of thousands of people. It was from 2017. People that were out not for No Kings, they were actually there to support the king. So it's
well, and Alex, along those lines as well, they claimed there was 7 million people in protests, right? That was mainstream. It was 650,000 at the most.
And what I thought was odd, I didn't see all the young people. I didn't see young people. It was a lot of older folks.
Choose your words carefully.
Which
No
I believe they are out there because they've spent too much time telling a vision and being programmed. So they believe what they believe. And I understand that. And truth sometimes is very uncomfortable for people. It's a scary world to know what we, the four of us and 300 people watching, most of, understand and know about what's going on in the world. It can be a very scary place. There's always going to be bad people. There you go, Sam.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Ben. That was really cool.
There's always going to be nefarious people. There's always going to be bad people, and bad people do bad things. But I think when this chapter of this story, of this movie, of this whatever ends, it's going to be one of the greatest truth-telling events of all time.
Right, exactly. And again, talking about that conversation last night at the dinner table, my nephew, who is wide awake, and he is a mountain man. I mean, this nephew of mine, literally, there's a hike where you go from someplace in California all the way up to Canada. I forget what it's called. It's a really popular trail. Maybe somebody in the chat can remember what it's called, but it takes months. He did it by himself with a backpack. That was it. I mean, this guy, he is truly a mountain man, and my nephew, Mark. And we were having a discussion yesterday, and he was kind of the mind was like, you know what? We got to wake people up. We got to rip the Band-Aid off, essentially. And I explained to him that from my perspective, that the reason it's taking so long is the Patriots are making sure that the loss of life is limited. And we were talking specifically about cancer cures. And I said, well, if you have a $1 trillion industry that's based on cancer, conventional Western medicine cancer, and you wipe that out overnight, people are going to die. There's just no other way around it. You have to have time to build up the homeopathic and the natural ways of preventing it, because it's kind of like the trolley car test. Do you guys know what the trolley car test is?
No.
So the trolley car test is essentially, let's say there's a trolley and it's on a certain track. And if it continues on that track, it's going to kill 5 people, right? If you had the ability to change the track that trolley car was on and divert it to another track, well, then it would kill 20 people, right? Either way, it's going to kill people, but you have to make a choice. Which one does the least damage? And I think that's partly where we're at right now with the medical profession, with agriculture, with other things. that there's a choice that has to be made. And I think the Patriots are making the choice of the least amount of people getting hurt or injured or killed by making that choice. So do cancer cures exist? Absolutely. I've known this for decades. I could name a half a dozen off the top of my head, and all of them have been outlawed in the United States for decades. But you can't make that switch without putting people in danger. And so I think that's partly why it's taking so long. James, you had said that, why is it taking so long, or it's taking longer than we had hoped. I think that's part of the reason why.
Tire Man said, buy it on the TikTok shop.
Oh, thanks, Tire Man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel, Sam, I think we teach people to open their eyes and to step back and look on what's happening and just not take the TV's word for it, to think for ourselves and not to be just fed on what they're feeding us all day long.
Right. And it's not only the programming that Alex talked about, but people aren't familiar. There's something called flicker rate technology that the government owns hundreds of patents on. When we used to have tube TVs, right? And why is it that in a very short amount of time, after having decades of tube TVs, everything now is LED and LCD flat panels? Because the way a liquid crystal display and a light emitting diode project the picture is a flicker of those LEDs and LCDs to produce the image. Well, they now have they've had it for a long time, the technology to make those flicker rates make you angry or hungry, or you name it, they can do it. Now they're supposed to be outlawed, but I don't think that's the case.
Or a zombie.
Or
Pay
a zombie.
Your children. Pay attention to your children. We have a 9-year-old. If we limit screen time, whether that's the little tablets or whether that's the television or whether that's video games or TV or whatever the case may be, and like clockwork, if she gets more than her screen time in one day, you will see an absolute change in everything about her demeanor, her playfulness, her attitude. Everything changes. And the problem is a good portion of this country grabs their device and sticks their kid on it as a babysitter. And at night before you go to bed, turn your phone, your television, any kind of lighting like that off for an hour at minimum, 2 if you can do it, before you actually lay your head down and go to sleep. Pick up a book, pick up something other than the screen, and watch what happens to your sleep patterns when you're not staring at a screen. It's addictive. It's comatose state. The dopamine levels. It's all measurable. It's all that's real, backed by science.
Allie Mae
I still count sheep, Alex, just so you know.
Exactly. Allie Mae in the chat said that LED lights have ruined Christmas decorating. Well, and that's one example. I remember when my son was young, we couldn't figure out, it took me quite a long time to figure it out, but every time he ate something that had red dye number 5, what he would do is he would eat it, and within a few minutes he was banging his head against the wall. And I finally put it together, and I'm like, oh my God, it's the red dye. And as soon as we eliminated that it was gone. And I think those are 2 examples of an attack vector that the nefarious people have used for decades. Agriculture, the nutritional deficiency of the foods that we eat, the toxicity in the air and the water, the LED lights, the flicker rate technology, the food dyes. And look at what's happening now. RFK Jr. is pulling this all out into the open and into the light. Alex?
Well, Allie is making comments that I'm encouraging her book habit at night. And I want you to know this is what she's read just in the last couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. Allie Mae, I'm a big reader too, so don't you feel bad about that.
So yes, honey, I'm encouraging your book reading habit. And maybe before the live is over, Sam, we had talked about her decorating addiction.
Oh yeah.
Our daughter's birthday is in early September, and the day after her birthday, she decorates for fall. So maybe at the end of the show, I'll give everybody a tour of Allie Mae's Decorating 101.
Oh, I would love to see that because my sister, Golfr Cath, she was huge on decorating. Absolutely huge. In fact, she would decorate for Halloween. She would take special gifts to my nieces, my great nieces, in the next city over, niece and nephew's kids, and every year she'd bring and take some sort of Halloween decoration and put it on their porch the day of Halloween or a couple days before. Kath was huge on decorating, and that was another thing that I'm going to miss. Christmas Eve was my sister was always in charge of Christmas Eve, and she would make these phenomenal meals, beef Wellington or you name it, she would do it. But boy, she was a lot like Allie Mae when it came to that decorating stuff.
Well, you have an open invitation, Sam. Why don't you come over to Kansas and we'll treat you to some Southern hospitality, get you out of the lion's den over there. And I think we had 5 or 6 Christmas trees last year. You'll feel right at home.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Christmas trees, when I lived in Colorado with my ex-wife, Terry, and that's another thing I want to mention. My ex-wife called me yesterday morning and we talked and we cried, and she was so sweet and so wonderful. And I just want to publicly acknowledge that you don't have to be at odds with your exes. You can be happy and happy for them and them happy for you. But it was such a blessing. But it reminds me of a story when we lived in Colorado in the mountains. Terry was big on decorating too, every freaking holiday. But when we lived in the mountains, specifically, I think it was the first year we were there, she said, "Oh, I want to go cut our own Christmas tree down." Right? And you're talking about a guy that's born and raised in LA, right?
Let's do it.
Living at 9,000 foot elevation with 300 inches of snow a year. And I'm like, well, okay, sure. Sounds fun, right? Fun was not the word I would use to describe that particular event in my life. Oh my God. We get there and I don't know anywhere else, but in Colorado, you drive down they call it a road, but it's not really, it's this dirt patch. And then you get out of your car and you start looking for your tree, right? Well, we get out of the car and I'm like, okay, this one looks good. Right next to the road. Well, let's take this one. Oh, no, that would never do. Next thing you know, we are trampling down. Oh, look at that beautiful rose. Thank you, Mary Lise. We're literally knee deep in freaking snow. It's 20 degrees below zero. The sun is starting to go down. The kids are crying, and Terry is happy and joyful. Oh, we're going to get our tree. I mean, about, 15, 20 minutes into it, I said, okay, make your pick because we're turning around and going back. Pick the tree that you want. And she did, and we got it, and we took it back to the house. But needless to say, that was the first and the last time that we went and cut our own Christmas tree down. So my hat's off to you, Alex. I couldn't do that stuff.
Only knee deep snow?
I don't cut down 5 Christmas trees. Her grandmother has a Christmas tree decorating problem as well. So we inherit last year's tree every year. And instead of getting rid of a tree, we just add a tree. And when you see the Halloween, just keep in mind it's about 1/4 of what she does for Christmas.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Oh my gosh!
I think there's a 1-800 helpline for that stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam, you say the snow was only knee deep. It's not a real Christmas tree cutting unless you get your stones frozen.
Yeah, well, it was knee deep as far as I was willing to go. Now, there were people up there with snowshoes and, all this other people that have been doing it for years. And there was just no freaking way you'd be seeing me with my nuts in the freaking snow. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but it wasn't going to happen, man. Not going to happen.
When I picture that story, Sam, I think of Chevy Chase going out.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Was there a squirrel in your tree too?
Yeah, exactly. There should have been. My God. Holy smokes. Oh, God, I don't know how the hell we got off on that tangent. But so we're talking about, Venezuela. We're talking about the Russian Trump. We're talking about the sealed indictments. And now Just Human over the weekend said that the U.S. courts are set to run out of money and begin furloughs as shutdowns linger. Could this have something to do with maritime and admiralty law and common law coming back? James, what do you think?
It's funny that we're talking about maritime law, Sam. It's for just like real estate. It's another language, and getting my master captain's license, I'm in maritime law right now, and it sucks.
Yeah,
Period.
I'm sure
Flat
that.
out, it sucks.
I'm
No,
sure.
it doesn't.
It's
It's great. It's
it is
fantastic.
it is great, but to have to learn it letter for letter, I mean, it's tough. Hell, I have a hard time finding my way for my background on my page here. It for everything. I'm serious.
Did you ever get your
Did
your new phone?
I did,
Oh, okay.
but I did not get the iPhone 7 Pro Max because I did order one,
Mhm.
but I did get the what the heck do you call it? It's the iPhone 13 whatever.
17?
It's no, they didn't have 16. Was it
Oh,
a
16,
16E?
Yeah.
Yeah, that 16E. So I satisfied myself with that for now. I'm waiting for the big gem, but as technology goes forward, I I struggle. Hell, I can fly helicopters. I might have a hard time passing that test if I was asked to do it again.
Yeah.
The part where you have to understand and comprehend. I'm past all that shit.
Exactly. Well, don't feel bad, James. I ordered an iPhone 17 a month ago. I still haven't gotten it, and they keep pushing. They order the date out. I don't replace my phone every year. I do it every 3-4 years. But this
Mhm.
one's starting to die, so it was time to get one. And I figured, well, iPhone 17, yeah, I guess it's time to get a new one. Dave, what do you think? Oh, Allie Mae said something about Sam. I'll come and help you decorate. That's so cute. That's so cute. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
What were we talking about again?
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Tangent. I don't even remember what we were
Oh,
talking
we were
about.
talking about the U.S. courts shutting down, being furloughed.
Oh well, I think there's a lot of that stuff coming forward, and I think we're 20 some days in now.
Something
I
like
think it is
that.
on the shutdown, and so we'll see. It's going to be interesting as it gets closer to that 60, 61 day time period on what Trump can do after that.
Right, and so we've got the government shutdown. We have Trump and Putin working something out. We have Venezuela possibly being dealt with, and then auto loan delinquencies have surged 50%. 50%. That's a huge number. And then I saw a post from G Money over on Bullion, Bitcoin, and BS, and it was talking about the amount of credit. In fact, let me see if I can find that because I think it's really pertinent to what's going on right now. And essentially, let's see here. I'm sure I have it because I thought, wow, that really caught my eye. Let me see here. Yeah, here it is. So U.S. debt crisis is intensifying. Total U.S. debt reached a record $98 trillion. And then he equates that to the number of Bitcoin, which is 889 million Bitcoin. There's only 21 million in existence. It ever will be. And then he talked about the federal government debt rose to 35.6 trillion. That's 320 million Bitcoin. And there's only 21 million available. And it's not even that yet. Non-financial corporate debt hit $21.9 trillion. Financial corporate debt totaled $20.9 trillion. Household debt reached $20.5 trillion. All of these convergence happening right now. Alex, what do you think?
Stick with me for a minute. Put your tinfoil hat on. They can't get the war, which is what always happens when the fiat is on the brink of collapse, because we know the warmongers bring monetary lining of pockets, right? So they can't get that because the boogeyman in 8 different countries is gone, and the last couple boogeyman have yet to be brought over to the light side, right? We talked about Putin building a pipeline or a tunnel and working together. But what if the reason the Democrats are holding the U.S. government hostage in the way that they are is they're hoping that this will facilitate that depression recession scenario at the 60 plus day mark. But we all know it's going to backfire. But I'm just saying maybe that's what's going on. Maybe this is they don't have a boogeyman to put forward, so we're just gonna shut down the government in hopes that collapses it all. So
Right.
train.
Yeah, and then go woke, go broke. The Hollywood productions plummet to an all-time low. I mean, there's a lot of things converging right now. James, what do you make of it?
It's a mind-blowing thing for sure, but that's why some of these things like what's going on in Venezuela, what's going on in Ukraine. It's interesting how some of these topics that we cover or you guys have covered even in my absence, they still resurface. They might go quiet for a little while, but gosh, John Fetterman, he came to light the other day for what reason? I mean, this guy's flipping a switch too, right?
He's
Just
MAGA all the way.
There you go.
Yeah.
We were pointing fingers at that dude a long time ago, and hey, look at that dude. And all of a sudden now, he's rowing the right boat.
He might as well just put a MAGA hat on and be done with it.
Sure.
James and Dave are wearing his hoodie, so I mean, why not?
Hey man, mine. This is the 13-letter shit spreader, by the way.
Oh, international.
International. That's
I know
right.
what that symbol is.
There you go.
Well, with all these different convergences happening, China expelled their 9 top generals, including 2 from the Communist Party leadership. That just happened over the weekend. I mean, my God, Dave, what do you think?
There is so much stuff going on, and for the right moves. There's stuff we talk about that we're like, okay, this is kind of what it looks like it's happening, and all of a sudden it flips and starts happening. So, exciting to see what's going on because, we were talking about Fort Knox, the gold. There was a guy that brought up a good point of what they're going to do and what the proposal, and I wanted to bring that up to you guys about getting the gold up to a certain price, utilizing some of that money and put it towards crypto, and thus the Federal Reserve is gone.
Well, Benji 1959, Big Ben, sent me a video. It was either yesterday or today, and it was talking about the gold that was taken from the Vatican. Now, if that number, we all heard it was 600 plane loads. Nobody knows for sure. But that video that Benji 1959 sent me specifically talked about that gold and the amount of that gold. And it was in, I think, the quadrillions. If that's true, where is that gold going to go? Well, my guess is it's going to be distributed throughout the world. And that, some people call it Nasara Jasara. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen, but I believe that there was a vast amount of gold there, and I think it was seized, and I think it will be distributed to the people of the earth. Now, when's that going to happen? How's that going to happen? Is that going to be part of the reevaluation of gold, going from $40 an ounce to $4,000 or $40,000? God only knows for sure. Alex, what do you think?
Well, just to go back real quick to the China situation, there was another video I shared with our group this morning about how there is a growing number of people inside of China that are asking for a Tiananmen Square style stand up right now to overthrow Xi and the communists and what's going on. I think when you add the trade wars that are happening, the tariff wars that are happening, like they're in a bad spot. When the United States, one of the largest consumers in the world of goods, says not anymore, we're going to stand on our own 2 feet, we're going to start doing it ourselves and get our national security back, it hurts. It'll be interesting to see where that ends up going. If the boogeymen are all working together and they're not really boogeymen, what are the possibilities? Going over to the gold side of things, though, I don't think we're going to know what that story looks like until it starts getting laid out in front of us. There is a whole lot of chatter around gold and the revalue and where it is and where it's going to be stored and what. I mean, I believe it's probably going to be a sovereign wealth fund type scenario. There were some inklings a while back about bank transfers with China totaling $31 trillion, which would essentially wipe out our debt. I was able to actually go and dig and find that document, and it is a real document. Whether or not that happened, I don't know, but I know that the government has the request for the funds. So there's no way for us to know. Like when Lois Lane was down in the crack and was dead, we didn't know he was going to fly backwards to make the world in time go backwards, right? Like we just don't know how this movie's going to end. But I think right now we're in a pretty good spot. I think I've said it before, the scared dog mentality. They're capable of pulling anything. So keep our heads on a swivel. Keep investing in places that are tangible assets, whether that's property, not financial advice, just my own opinion. But tangible, real, physical things that you can hang on to. I think whenever that switch comes and happens, you'll be way better off for doing so.
Right. And then with all these things happening around the world, Dan Scavino says that as head of the White House personnel, he will be working very closely with the DOJ, and he is now in charge of appointing all U.S. Marshals across the country. You can't imagine that that's happenstance or coincidence. Dave, what do you think?
Can't imagine that's good for the bad boys either.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Nancy, here they come. Get ready.
Yep, exactly. James?
See her go off on that reporter?
Huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
Well, the only comment is lock and load 1 40-round magazine.
Alex?
She was being followed through a crowd, and the woman was asking her, "Why didn't you deploy the National Guard?" And she turns around and goes, "Shut up! It was Trump. It was Trump."
I did see that. Yeah,
on grand scale.
Exactly.
Do you think she peed a little, Alex?
The interstate isms are back, aren't they? Oh my gosh.
FAFO, baby.
All right, everybody. Well, Alex, are you going to show us that Halloween thing? So everybody, Allie Mae is a addict when it comes to decorating, and Alex is going to show us some of what her handiwork for fall and Halloween, I believe it is, right, Alex?
Correct.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Hold on a second here. Let's get through the mess. We'll start with our guest bathroom.
You've got to be kidding me! Shower curtain too. Oh my
Got the
God, Allie Mae.
The Halloween theme going on.
The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Galatians 5:22 through 23, probably appropriate for today. Okay, on to the next one.
Let me. Hey, and Alex, let me guess. That bathroom smells like pumpkin spice.
100%.
Sure.
So here's the witch, the flogger, the cauldron, the spooky sweeper. The haunted home is a happy home.
Oh my gosh!
Look at all the pumpkins on the shelves. When we have guests, it is your own Airbnb, whatever you need.
Oh
just
my
yourself.
gosh! Martha Stewart, move over.
This is let me get some lights on here. This is our dining room.
Wow.
This is hanging on the wall. This is our centerpiece.
Dear Lord, it's a cornucopia.
So there's the bats that are flying out of the pumpkins in the corner. We've had to bring some plants in because the weather's changing. But yes, we have bats that fly over to our windows. We have the garland with the pumpkins.
Oh my goodness!
Happy
Just like
Halloween!
Jake, he's got bats in the belfry.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have the lights that go all the way.
Oh God, the lights! So many lights.
The kitchen. We have fall garland over the. Okay. Autumn is leaves and pumpkin. Here's the pumpkin next to the coffee pot. Pumpkin spice for life. More garland. We have our. This is where you put your spatulas and things. So we have a nice little tray there. The stove has.
Banana pumpkin. Oh my gosh.
We have hear no, see no, speak no pumpkins. Then we have salt and pepper pumpkins with the cookie jar pumpkins.
You've got to be kidding me.
These are our plate holders. Hot. Yeah. Oh, don't forget the carpet.
Oh my
There's
God,
carpet.
Allie Mae, we're gonna take up a collection for your
Oh
addiction.
no, we're not done yet. Wait.
We're not even done. Oh my
But
God.
wait, there's more. Here's the pantry. And so very organized is she. Just let's show the organization skills here of how everything is grocery store in order, labeled and stacked appropriately so we know where it's all at.
Well, she's a
But
woman
then-
I'm after my own heart with that kind of thing. If there's a place for everything and everything should be in its place.
Yeah, and we have this is her favorite coffee mug, tea mug. We've got the boo. We've got the steak dog treats. This is hand painted by her talent.
Holy smokes.
So we got fall there. Let's see. There's another one. Okay, now wait. All right, here we go. All right. Pay no attention to the laundry. She's gonna kill me for doing this. So,
Better you than me.
go ahead and put me in the big screen here.
Okay, hold
one
on.
second.
Let me,
I got it.
okay.
Okay. All right. So this is our bay window. We have the lights. We have the spooky guys hanging. Let's turn this guy around. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right. There you go.
Oh my God.
We have the handmade pumpkin pillows. Okay, and the entertainment center. So that is Allie's painting back there.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And we have pumpkins, Happy Halloween, the skulls, the boo treats. There's our daughter's trick or feet. Up across the top, trick or treat. We have pumpkins all over, blessed and thankful and yellow and black. I didn't turn this on. So this is one of those Edison towers. You touch it and it's got the sparks.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's that. Witch's brew, and the fireplace.
Holy smokes. But wait, there's more. Oh my God, Allie Mae.
There is. Let's see if I don't think I'll lose. I don't think I'll lose signal, but we'll see.
How big was her her Columbus Day decorations?
It's
Don't give her any ideas, right?
yeah. Hopefully I don't lose signal. Front porch, sunroom. So as you walk in the sunroom,
Smokes.
as you go up the stairs, October 31st, we even have Boo Garland.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go outside. I hope I don't lose you guys. Wi-Fi should be strong enough. There's the garland on the front door. This is what you walk up to at the front door. I told you she has a problem.
No kidding. Oh, Alex, we lost you.
She's got one vice.
Alex, you're cutting out.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I knew I would.
All right, that's all right.
Yep, I'm back.
Okay, well, Allie, God bless you. What an absolute blessing. How nice to be able to get a little insight into the addictions of Allie Mae. But what a beautiful and wonderful thing. What a great character trait. God bless you, Allie Mae. There's Mom.
Does Allie go overboard in decorating?
Oh, heavens no.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Hi, how are you?
We're good, sweetheart. How are you feeling today?
Well, I was going to sing you a song, but Alex won't sing with me, so I guess we won't.
Oh, all right.
I'm not singing.
All right, well,
I'm
maybe
not
next
singing.
time. Maybe next time.
No, hold on just a minute.
Okay.
Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror.
I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I guess I'm a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
Oh, wonderful, Mom. Excellent. Thank you for that. Thank you.
I'll find another one for you later.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Mom. Great to see you. Oh, that was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. All right, you guys. Well, I think it's time now to the end of the show, and it was so nice to be able to think about something else for a while. What a blessing. You guys are a blessing in my life. Not only the guys, Alex and James and Dave, but everybody in the chat. What love, what support. I'm sure my sister was watching this show, and I'm sure she's been smiling the whole time. And Kathy, I love you. I love you, and I'll miss you. I'll certainly miss you.
Anything you need, brother, we're here for you.
Okay, thanks everybody. We're gonna sign off now. I'm gonna see if I can pull myself together. I love you guys. I love everybody at home. And even as hard as it might seem to believe right now, the best is yet to come.
Yes, sir.
Okay, see you guys.
See you, Sam. Love you.
Love you too.